It's likely that you have been taught that the shoulders need to be away from the ears when you do downward facing dog. But let's just look at the functionality of that type of thing. It's like if someone drops something on your head, you're not going to go like this to catch it, right? You're going to reach up, you're going to reach to the sky to catch it. And what's going to happen? The shoulders are going to come towards the ears. So this is how we can use downward dog as more of a functional active position as opposed to a passive, more restful position, which does not create healthy, stable shoulder joints in the long run. So is there any relevance to this instruction to have the shoulders away from the ears? Yes, but to a point. Now, the two main things that are really, really important when it comes to an active, sustainable downward facing dog is what I call the push and the wrap. If we look at downward facing dog from this perspective here, we don't want to have too much push because then we'll clamp the shoulders up towards the ears, and then this is the position that we're in. Now, on the flip side of that, we don't want to have too much wrapping because then we collapse into the shoulder joint, and you can see what's happening there. I'm very passive. So we want to push and bound the energy into the ground through the hands, but we also want to wrap so that there's not too much of this and there's not too much of this. Now we hear all of these different, instructions to spiral the top of the arm and counter spiral the bottom of the arm and all these really fancy things that frankly it's quite hard for people to connect to. But if you're looking for a way to teach this that is much more accessible and it's just easier for people to digest and for them to understand, then you want to bring about the entry of the pose. I find that one of the very best ways that we can do that is to enter downward facing dog from a cat pose. Using this technique and this tool will really help your students begin to understand the role that their shoulders play here. So, coming into cat pose, there's a natural push, there's a natural wrap, and then all you're going to do is get your students to maintain that. But the moment that they disconnect from the pushing energy and also that natural wrapping energy, that's when you know that there's been a loss of action, which means instability and eventual dysfunctionality within the shoulder joint. Press your energy bound down through your hands. This is bounding energy through the hands. This is rebounding energy through your upper back between your shoulder blades. Draw your chin to your chest, shift your weight a little bit more forward, keep pressing, 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 and hover your knees. And we're not just arbitrarily lifting the bum in the air. No, it comes from the push of the hands. So eyes chase the belly, hands push. 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 And here you can see I've got a really healthy dose of pushing and wrapping at the same time. Now the idea is to encourage your students to find that same push and wrap no matter how they enter into downward facing dog. The guiding force of this type of entry is not I lift my tail arbitrarily and not holistically consider the rest of my body, but it's action-based. How much can I push the ground away? How much can I look into my belly? Now with those two things, then the downward dog shape, whatever that looks like, comes into the body, and the positioning of the arms overhead is much healthier, much more sustainable in the long run.